Splatoon 1 was infamous for its invincibility specials of Bubbler and Kraken. While you could theoretically push these specials off the map, they were almost completely unkillable. Nintendo's solution in Splatoon 2 was to go with HP specials, like the Baller and Booyah Bomb. One of these was done absolutely perfect, and should be the gold standard of how to design specials with HP, and the other one was a miserable failure that they have nerfed into the ground. So, today, we're going to be talking about how to design HP specials. If you enjoy my content, please be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos on Splatoon every day. I hope you enjoy. So, one thing I'll briefly talk about is Ink Armor. Ink Armor is sort of an HP special, but it's not really what we're going to be talking about. Baller and Booyah Bomb are some sort of state specials. Baller, you have to roll around, and Booyah Bomb you raise into the air. Ink Armor is more a slight boost of HP that changes exactly how your health works for a team-based environment. It's more of a minor HP boost that affects your whole team. I talked about Ink Armor in my last video on Splatoon special design, which you can find in the description. But for today's video, just know that we aren't going to be talking about it at all, and we're mostly going to be focused on HP specials that drastically boost your HP and really only apply to you. So, on a bit of a different note, I'm going to be talking about one aspect that both of these specials actually get right off the bat: their exact HP. HP specials are often hated because it's very easy to design them poorly in one aspect: health. If you have an HP special that gives you too much health, then suddenly it's completely unkillable and can stall for its entire duration. But if you give it too little health, it can often feel very worthless and die almost instantly. While Baller and Booyah Bomb on their release were more in terms of having too much health, Nintendo's balanced and adjusted their HP with time to where both are at a very reasonable level. We'll talk about this a bit more later, but neither special suffers in having too much or too little HP. It's other aspects where they fail or succeed. When designing any HP special, there's a rule of thumb that will always determine if one is good and one is bad, which is that the health has to come with a downside. And this is where one of these specials goes right and one of them goes very wrong. Baller isn't a good example of an HP special. This thing activates pretty fast, and there's nothing really stopping someone from rolling away in the Baller and getting out safely. There's also not much that can be done about the explosion. There's some situations where Baller can be shredded fast, but the majority of the time it's basically a get-out-of-jail-free card in the same aspect that Kraken was. The only difference is it doesn't activate instantly. Okay, well what if you want to use Baller as a kill option? Well, that just makes the special too broken. In fact, Nintendo has been slowly nerfing Baller into the ground in terms of its kill time. The radius at one-shots has been made smaller, and the explosion time is increased. Baller has even been separated into weight classes and is an excuse to make Explosher's Baller in particular slower. Despite these nerfs and its kill power being almost completely gone, Baller is still really strong in ranked and competitive. This is because the ability to keep yourself alive with a near instant activation and the mobility to move out of the way once you pop that special is really valuable. Baller is just a panic button just as much as Kraken is. The only difference is it doesn't activate instantly. There's not cool playmaking potential anymore. It's most of the time just something you use to stay alive. If you fight against Baller, it's even less fun as you feel cheated out of a kill. This no longer fits any form of good special design, it's just a glorified panic button. On the other hand, Booyah Bomb is great special design. The idea of HP coming with a downside is demonstrated perfectly. You rise in the air in a vulnerable position and have 2 seconds of activation before the Booyah Bomb can be thrown where you're stuck in the air. While it does come with HP, you are completely immobile while using it. One weapon with Object Shredder in a lot of situations is enough to break it, and 2 people without Object Shredder will almost always break it. This means Booyah Bomb is no longer encouraged to be used as a panic button. The HP is there in order for you to throw the bomb safely in a solid position. Panicking it can get punished by coordinated plays. It now just is something that allows you to throw the bomb safely, and is much more situational at protecting you from attacks. Now, someone might want to point out that teammates using their Booyahs can actually charge the bomb faster. This isn't a problem. It requires input from teammates pressing a button on the controller, which lessens their own ability to fight. Also, them sending Booyahs actually gives away their position, as you can see here, which is a pretty major downside. And third of all, even with teammates Booyahing, it still requires a certain amount of time to charge up, so the downside isn't gone completely, just a little bit lessened, which is fair for the trade-off of what it costs to use Booyahs. In other words, it doesn't fix it being a poor panic option, and it has downsides, making it very balanced. Well, that's the HP section of these two specials done, but you know what? The comparison isn't over. Booyah Bomb's not just better in terms of how it handles HP, but the explosion at the end of it is far better designed than Baller's too. Baller's explosion happens all at once, meaning the area that it's painted over instantly cannot be stopped once it explodes. On top of that, if you're caught in the damage radius, you will take that set amount of damage, be it a kill or a weaker damage output. Booyah Bomb, on the other hand, paints from the inside out and deals damage per frame, meaning even if you're near the center, you can still swim out of the way and live as long as you're not too close. In terms of painting over it, because it paints from the inside out, just like Ink Strike in Splatoon 1, you can actually paint over Booyah Bomb by shooting the inside of it. This way, you can keep it from capping the zone on a lot of objectives and have a way of painting over it, unlike Baller's explosion. This means, once again, Booyah Bomb has much more counterplay, another point in the special's favor. At the end of the day, whether it's the HP attached to the special or the bomb itself that's been thrown, Booyah Bomb has vastly more counterplay options and downsides to its HP. Baller is just a glorified panic button. When Splatoon 3 comes, I hope to see the Booyah Bomb return. However, I think it's best that Baller is left behind. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something about special design today and enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day.